Mars Retrograde October 30, 2022 through January 12, 2023 brings violence and deception. Generally, Mars Retrograde is associated with inner changes relating to sexuality, decisive action, or anger issues in response to external change. Mars Retrograde 2022 is particularly dangerous because it aligns with a Mars-like fixed star associated with violence, especially male violence. Mars quincunx Pluto increases the risk of threats, intimidation, and violence. Mars Retrograde 2022 is particularly dangerous because it aligns with a Mars-like fixed star associated with violence, especially male violence. Mars quincunx Pluto increases the risk of threats, intimidation, and violence. Mars Retrograde, meaning Mars Retrograde in transit, is a regular cycle occurring every 25 months, lasting 80 days, and spanning 13 degrees of the zodiac. It is the second rarest of the retrogrades after Venus, occurring only 9% of the time. Transiting Mars Retrograde is a time for thinking before acting. Fated events and repeating themes will reinforce which of your intense desires need more background work before being acted upon. Mars Retrograde means that whatever area of sexuality or decisive action you must develop is so important that extra time is needed to take stock and ensure everything is in order before you continue. Fated events may occur that could be painful but are needed, so you back off and don't make a significant mistake. Now especially, you may also have struggled with destructive behaviors like anger, rage, violence, or sexual abuse. If so, the retrograde phase will bring fated events that force you to admit you have some anger management issues. This, too, could be a harrowing experience for you. By the time Mars stations direct, you should have come to terms with the relevant issues. This contemplative stage is over. You are ready to come out of your shell, confidently assert yourself, and act on your desires. Ruthlessness Mars quincunx Pluto gives an intense longing to achieve your strongest and most passionate desires. You may become forceful and competitive as you strive to get what you want. This can cause strong resistance from others that reduces your chance of victory. Also, rushing ahead in too many directions makes it harder to succeed at any one thing. Resorting to coercive tactics, threats, intimidation, or violence will only increase the level of resistance. The quincunx is a karmic aspect, so you would also be harming yourself. You may experience uncertainty or a crisis if faced with defeat. The challenge is deciding on a single goal and avoiding being ruthless. You can then draw on courage and willpower to fulfill your desires. This aspect stays with 3 degrees orb from October 11 to November 17. With Mars stationing retrograde on a fixed star associated with male violence, Mars quincunx Pluto makes Mars Retrograde 2022 more dangerous. It increases the risk of aggression, sadistic and cruel behavior, violence against women, sexual assault, and rape. There is also the danger of violent protests, police violence, terrorism, assassinations, bombings, and more crimes. Deception Mars square Neptune brings low energy, deceit, lies, and scandal. It can make you feel weak, discouraged, confused, and guilty. In relationships, you may become suspicious and paranoid, jealous or vindictive, or you may be the victim of gossip, slander, treachery, or fraud. But try to avoid the temptation to act against others due to such confused motivations. Deceitful or subversive actions will most likely return to bite you in the ass. Be wary of offers that seem too good to be true. Don't let your fears or imagination get the better of you. Instead, try to channel this confusing energy into creative projects that need inspiration and imagination, not sustained physical effort. This aspect stays with 3 degrees orb from October 3 to November 29 and is exact on November 20. Mars Retrograde October 2022 star Mars Retrograde 2022 is in the sign of Gemini, but it is actually in the constellation of Taurus. This discrepancy is due to the precession of the equinoxes. It has moved the sun signs almost a whole sign out of alignment with the constellations from which they were named over 2,000 years ago. The zodiac was invented initially only as a measuring device. Astrologers had always used the visible constellation and their stars for astrological interpretation. Mars Retrograde October 2022 at 25 degrees Gemini aligns with Chang'e at 25 degrees Gemini, located on the tip of the southern horn of Taurus the bull. Chang'e is the new official name for Zeta Tauri, commonly known as Heka. Fixed star Heka is like Mars. It gives violence, male violence, and danger of accidents. Heka is counted as an unfortunate star. It gives a combative nature with the tongue, and sometimes manually too, which can lead to misfortune. With Mars, evil companions, bad habits, sex troubles, and afflictions of a Mars-Venus type. In the houses, if you have Mars 1H or an Aries sun, prepare for big challenges when it comes to your ideas and communications. Mars will cause delays and frustrations around writing, speaking, advertising, or intellectual endeavors. This could also cause drama with neighbors or siblings. If you've had plans to head out on any trips, they may be riddled with chaos. If you have Mars 2H or you're a Taurus sun, big challenges around finances await. You're likely to be burning through cash faster than ever before. Do not make any major purchases. You end up regretting them in the long run. Also, be aware that there will also be delays around checks and payouts. 2. If you have Mars 3H or are a Gemini, Sas, of all the zodiac signs, you must be the most careful because Mars is retrograde in your zodiac sign. You will feel exhausted and face enemies and challenges at every turn. Don't let the rage overcome you. This is a karmic lesson around how you prioritize balance in your life. If you have Mars 4H or you're a Cancer sun, yikes, not only will you feel absolutely exhausted, but you could feel like your anxiety and mental health are spiraling out of control. Big drama could emerge from hidden enemies or secrets that suddenly explode out into the public. Beware all drama at every turn. If you have Mars 5H or you're a Leo sun, big drama awaits in your social life. You could find that you and your friends are at each other's throats. It is also likely that it has been bubbling beneath the seams for quite some time. However, another way this could harm you is by stalling a major goal or aspiration that you've been working toward. It's likely to spin off the tracks. If you have Mars 6H or you're a Virgo sun, get ready for headaches around professional matters. Conflicts around your career and major projects you've been launching are here. You may even have challenges in the public eye or with bosses or authority figures. If you have Mars 7H or you're a Libra sun, if you've been feeling fired up about new horizons, that's about to change. You may notice major problems around one of the following themes: legal battles and negotiations, long-distance travel, or international situations. If involved in academics, publishing, or the media, there is trouble lurking. If you have Mars 8H or you're a Scorpio sun, there could be some significant losses around assets or investments. Don't make major purchases now. If you've been waiting on a negotiation, settlement, or inheritance, things could be delayed or you'll have to square off with someone to see what you've expected. If you have Mars 9H or you're a Sagittarius sun, prepare for big challenges with partners. This could be with a lover or spouse or even a business associate. Enemies may be coming at you, eager to tear you down. If you've been involved in negotiations, things could stall. If you have Mars 10H or you're a Capricorn sun, get ready for problems with work and productivity. You could feel like you're drowning beneath responsibilities, or that suddenly everything is spiraling off the rails. Fights with clients, staff, or coworkers may even pop up. Last, watch your health. You'll be feeling burned out and have weaker immunity at this time. If you have Mars 11H or you're an Aquarius sun, major hurdles around romance, dating, fertility, or children are here. You may suddenly be at each other's throats or feel like your spark has faded. Another way this could affect you is if you're single and dating. Suddenly you hit a very long dry spell. Last, if you have children, big problems around them may emerge. Lastly, if you have Mars 12H or you're a Pisces sun, get ready for headaches around your family, home, and domestic life. Conflicts are sure to pop up. If you've been moving or renovating, this will hit snags with continuous hurdles.